The bereaved Mshowe family, the First Lady Maim Nangago in absentia, the Vice President and Minister of Health and Child Care, General Retired Dr. C.D. G.N. Chiwenga, the Second Secretary of the NPF and Vice President, Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi, Chairman of ZANPF and Minister of Defense and all Veteran Affairs, Honorable OCZ Mchinguri Kashiri, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Advocate J.F. Mdenda, President of the Senate, as represented here by General Nyambuya, Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Luke Malava, members of the Politburo and Central Committee who are here, Cabinet Ministers who are present, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Chief Secretary to the President Cabinet, Dr. Mishek Swanda, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Ungwe, Commander Defense Forces General P.V. Swanda, Service Chiefs, Senior Government Officials, Mayor of the City of Harare, His Worship Councillor J. Mafume, all veterans, ex-detainees, restrictees, and all collaborators, fellow mourners, comrades and friends. Allow me to express my deepest condolences to the Mshowe family, in particular to Mrs. Mshowe and the children, on the unbearable loss of our dear comrade, Dr. Christopher Chindoti Mshowe, who passed on 13th February 2023 after a long illness. His passing on came as devastating news to me and my family, and is a deep loss to our dear nation, Zimbabwe. I had always remained optimistic that our dear colleague and comrade would recover and join us in the ongoing work to develop our motherland, Zimbabwe. However, this was not to be. Hence, today we are laying to rest a dedicated cadre who rose to national prominence through a service to the nation that was underpinned by loyalty, patriotism, commitment, integrity, and hard work. On behalf of our Revolutionary Party ZANPF, the government and people of Zimbabwe, my family, and indeed on my own behalf, I wish to extend my deep condolences to the bereaved Mshowe family on this sad loss. I urge the family to find comfort and solace from Almighty God. The whole nation is grieving with you as this is our loss together. We have indeed lost a stalwart and a career civil servant come leader in many respects. My dear fellow monarchs, the dismantling of the colonial bondage that followed our attainment of independence in 1980 was punctuated with mixed emotions and moments of difficulties, more so as we took over the institutions and instruments of state power, including State House. The many years of racial segregation, exclusive privileges, embedded in the never in a thousand years mentality of Ian Smith, made this task even more onerous. At the advent of majority rule, the white settler administration did not easily accept that the black majority of this country was now in government. It was in this environment that the late national hero, Dr. Christopher Mshowe, was among the first black Zimbabweans to assume jobs in the public service from the unwilling white settlers. In 1981, Comrade Mshowe was taken into the confidence of the then Prime Minister, our late founding father and the former president, late Comrade Robert Mugabe, to serve in very demanding and sensitive positions in his principal executive office. He would rise through the ranks in the office of our late national hero and the former president, Comrade R.J. Mugabe, including as personal staff officer. Such placements called for total trust, integrity, and loyalty, attributes which Dr. Mshowe exuded in abundance. In 1986, Dr. Mshowe was appointed Under Secretary and made the controller of the Prime Minister's residencies, becoming Director of State Residencies in the office of the President and Cabinet in 1988. His humble demeanor and professionalism made him most suitable for the post. He was in charge of ensuring that the state residencies were administered efficiently with the requisite decorum befitting that high office. He undertook the responsibility with great distinction. My dear fellow monarchs, one of the greatest achievements of the First Republic under the vision of primary and secondary education for all was the decision to roll out education infrastructure countrywide. This guaranteed that our previously disadvantaged and marginalized citizenry had access to better and quality education. The net effect of these efforts was that literacy in Zimbabwe rose from below 45% to over 85%. Dr. Mshowe's proximity to the visionary of our post-independence education literacy revolution inspired him to improve his own education and that of many others, particularly the underprivileged in our society. The drive to improve himself saw the late national hero using his spare time to study through distance education until he attained 2 doctorate degrees. This was an extraordinary feat in view of the demanding nature of his position. His passion for education for the underprivileged saw him appointed to lead the scholarships department, which he did both as executive director and minister responsible for scholarships in the office of the president. The appointment gave him scope and capacity to facilitate study opportunities through scholarships that were extended to beneficiaries countrywide. These catered for talented, disadvantaged young boys and girls, as well as war veterans keen to advance their education. In this portfolio, our late national hero spent a considerable amount of his time mobilizing resources to fund the scholarships. I remember always bothering me to raise funds, and I responded well, I think. In addition, his itinerary also revolved around moving from one university to the other, looking after the welfare of our dear students abroad. He was a true patriot who carried the weighty responsibility to ensure that our citizenry gain a gift of life in the form of education, skills, and competencies in their lives. Most of our graduates from universities such as Fort University, KwaZulu Natal University, Witwatersrand, and many others, including those in friendly countries such as China, Russia, India, Algeria, and Egypt, among many others, benefited from his unwavering efforts. The hundreds of men and women that studied through his efforts are today contributing immensely to national development as key personnel in both the private and public sectors, driving our journey to prosperity as we aim for an upper middle income society by 2030. Dear comrades and friends and fellow mourners, in politics, Comrade Mushowe began as a war collaborator during the armed liberation struggle. In recognition of his strong leadership qualities, he rose to become a member of parliament. Thereafter, he became a member of the Central Committee before being appointed to the Politburo as Secretary for Economic Affairs. His elevation to the level of Manicaland Province Governor, Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, as well as Minister of Information and Publicity, before moving to scholarships, reflected his personal growth and the profound confidence the party and government had in his abilities and integrity. In this regard, our bureaucracy across ministries, departments, and agencies are called upon to emulate the footprints of the late national hero, Dr. Christopher Mushowe. We are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yika inova kwa nebe nevai. Under the Second Republic, delivering on the aspirations and welfare of our people remains our unwavering commitment. Our public servants must therefore be accountable to the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe. The basic values and principles that govern public administration, including high standards of professional ethics, probity, as well as efficient and economical use of state resources, must be promoted for the realization of Vision 2030 and ultimately improving the quality of life of our people. As Minister of Information and Publicity, the late Kobe Mshowe encouraged a media fraternity that was united by national interest. As we accelerate our national socio-economic development and more immediately prepare for the upcoming harmonized general elections, I call upon the media to be responsible and always seek to unite the people of our great country. This is the only Zimbabwe that we have and which you also have. This is our motherland, your motherland too. And the media practitioners must never sell our birthright for a few pieces of silver. The nation has indeed lost a key stalwart and a loyal cadre whose rich and perspective contributions to ideas that drove national growth will be sorely missed. My dear comrades and fellow mourners, as we bid our national hero, Dr. Christopher Mshowe, farewell, I challenge Zimbabweans both locally and abroad to draw inspiration and be guided by his exemplary qualities, which included simplicity, humility, sociability, integrity, dedication to hard work, and unflinching patriotism. To the late Comrade Mshowe, the country and the interests of the people of Zimbabwe came first. This is the national character trait that us who remain must continue to nurture and share across our provinces. Our enduring mantra, nyika inovakwa igotongwa nevenevayo, ilizwe liakiwa livuswe navanikazi valo, must remain and reign supreme. Going forward, let us continue individually and collectively building a modern, industrialized and prosperous Zimbabwe. Such were the aspirations of the many gallant sons and daughters of Zimbabwe who lie here, whom the late Dr. Mshowe is joining here at this sacred national shrine, as well as those resting in unmarked graves and interred in provinces and foreign countries. To the late national hero, Dr. Christopher Mshowe, I say, go well, son of the soil, Mwanawevu. Rest in eternal peace, the people's servant, the nation that you humbly served while you walked on this earth, today salutes you and honors you with this highest recognition of national hero status. We will forever value your contribution as a patriot and a bureaucrat of the highest repute in our nation. Fambai zakanaka gambaredu, zorora murugare, rest in eternal peace, loyal and dedicated servant of Zimbabwe, Lala Mokutula Kawe Lamakawe. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe. I thank you.